Welcome back to another episode of Life According to Richard and Sam. I'm Sam.
And I'm Richard.
Today we're just going to be talking about more quarantine stuff, like skills we've been practicing on or learned in this time. I know Richard's got a lot to talk about gardening. I've been kind of just practicing stuff that I needed to practice on. So I'll let Richard start with his gardening because he looks very excited to talk about it.
All right, yeah. It's a new skill. Thought it'd be a great thing to do during quarantine. My dad and I built raised beds. They're really tall because I was worried about rabbits.
Yeah.
So they're on legs. They're like 4 feet tall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're pretty tall, but it makes it easy to work in, to like pick weeds and all that, because you're not bending it at all.
Yeah.
I'm a little worried though because I have determinate tomatoes, so it means they're going to turn into a bush. I heard they can get up to like 4 feet tall, so I might have tomato plants that are like 8 feet in the air.
Got to get a step ladder for your tomatoes.
Yeah, 5'9" is not much of a reach or a vertical. So might just let the ones on the top rot away or something. But yeah, I've been really digging gardening. It's I think it's something that'll stick. I tend to go through phases of things. Here's a little tangent. I find something new that I want to try and just like dig into, and I'll do it for, a short amount of time, and then I just kind of slowly stop doing it, and then I never see it again. So like,
I'm the exact same way. Like my parents were shocked when I said, "Oh, I'm going to start golfing." Like all my friends do it. They're like, "Oh, are you going to buy clubs?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm going to get some nice clubs." Like, "Oh, because we weren't really expecting you to do that. You should get cheap clubs because you always pick stuff up and then you just kind of let it go for a while and then you're into it for a bit and you're done." And I'm like, "No, I'm actually kind of interested in this." So that's how I got into golfing.
How long's it been?
Well, I got my clubs 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in November because I got them Thanksgiving break. Because my aunt, my aunt gave me a Christmas present one year where she would either help me pay for my study abroad because I was talking about that. And then I decided not to study abroad and stay here because I just didn't want to leave all my friends that I'd made at S&C. And so she's like, "Oh, okay." And then I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting really into golf, blah, 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 blah." And she's really into golf. So she's like, "Oh, I'll get you clubs. I'll use that money that I was going to use for that to get you clubs." She thought I was going to get some really cheap box set where it's it's everything's in one. And I'm like, "No, my friend said I should." My friend who's goes here, he's on the golf team, probably the best golfer on the golf team, a really good dude, great golfer, was like, "If you're really serious about it," I'm like, I am, you should look at getting piecing together a set. So get a set of a used set of irons, because irons all come in a set, and then get a driver, and you're going to want to get a newer putter just because putters are my putter was my most expensive single club because the putters are very expensive. But yeah, so she's like, "Oh, okay." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all this." The only problem is that it's real hard to find used left-handed sets. As someone who's left-handed and a left-handed golfer, finding left-handed sets that are used was a big problem. And the one that I was really looking at, I bought them, but I'm probably gonna have to get them re-gripped at some point because the grips are all tore up. But yeah, so that's how I got my golf clubs, and I've been practicing that. But I don't want to distract you from your gardening talk because it's been really interesting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, my kind of the first phase I noticed being a phase was magic. I was
amazing. I am very excited for this conversation now.
I was I was really into magic I think I was in middle school. I was like 8th grade. And I just loved it. I spent so much money at the magic store, like buying random tricks, not really thinking like putting a set together so I can be a magician, just buying this random like cool stuff.
When school gets back, if you find those, I need you to bring those to campus. I want to see if you still got it.
I think I told my mom to take a bunch of my stuff to Goodwill, but I think I kept some stuff. I'll bring something.
Please, I need to see that.
Oh, okay, but yeah, I was really obsessed. Like I just watched so much like Penn and Teller and this ridiculous magic stuff. But anyway, back to gardening. I got a good variety of vegetables. I'm not really into flowers so much. Like, I mean, flowers are beautiful and stuff, but
yeah.
I really wanted to grow something to eat. And it kind of works both ways with, stores being ransacked.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, because we usually have a garden. I think my parents are doing it this year. We haven't done it in a couple years because we always missed the like window, but we kind of just passed it off as we were like, oh, we're letting the soil reset. Because like that's a huge thing. But I've always thought that like, because my mom has a flower garden every year, and we always have a food garden. And I always work on the food garden more. Because if you know me, I like to snack pretty much throughout the day. So like, my parents have stories if they send me to go like, because we used to have like bean sprouts, like vine beans, like where they grow up. And they're like, oh, go get some beans, and like I'd come back with maybe half a bucket full. I ate the other half while I was in the garden. Because like beans, like fresh beans right off the vine, like especially the younger ones are amazing. And like fresh cucumbers are great. The cucumbers we grew weren't the best because where our garden is, it's like we have an above ground pool. We've had that for a couple of years. So like the garden is like, the garden's here and the garden and pool are right next to each other. I just realized I tried to visually explain something on a podcast, but they're right next to each other. And we would always like play in the pool, and like the cucumbers were like right on the fence line between the garden and the pool. So they would always get splashed with the pool water. So we'd like go in the garden, and like some of the cucumbers were fine. And some of them were like a really weird yellow color just because like all the chemicals in the water, because we didn't have a chlorine pool, but we had like, I don't remember what it's called, but the other one. So we would always do that. And then like asparagus was a big thing. Asparagus is real tricky to grow because it takes a lot of time for it to
like germinate. 3 years.
Yeah. But so I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I wish that we had above ground boxes, because all of ours was just kind of like a regular garden. So it sucked when you were younger, and like we'd spend all day farming basically.
Yeah.
What are you growing?
I am growing.
Let's go with that.
I'm growing broccoli rabe.
Okay.
Which, you know what that is?
Yeah.
It's kind of like broccolini, but a little more leafier.
Yep.
Spinach.
Okay.
Green onions, which we're really showing today, so I can't wait for those to be ready to be pulled. Kale, lettuce, Roma tomatoes, carrots, zucchini, green beans, cucumbers, and I have a nasturtium plant there too.
What is that?
That is a flower. It's really weird. You should look up nasturtium right now. Nasturtium. It's got some really weird leaves, but beautiful flowers.
Yeah, it looks like that.
I know I was just saying I don't like flowers or growing flowers, but these flowers are edible.
The Farmer's Almanac webpage. A lot of ads.
the leaves and the flower themselves are edible.
Huh.
They're the flower is like it's spicy. Which is surprising. It's got like a very lettucey kind of taste, the petal. And then like closer to,
because I know
I've never had arugula.
Arugula is a peppery lettuce. It's real good.
Oh,
like it kind of does the same thing. So it's like a lettuce that's got a little bit of a bite to it.
Yeah. They say, I think I've heard nasturtium compared to mustard.
Okay.
Mustard greens.
Yeah. Mustard greens are good.
Yeah, it was really spicy. I ate like a whole flower all at once, and it was like really spicy for a few seconds, and then it kind of went away.
Okay.
But some of the flowers were kind of like a, really chloroplasty. I don't know. Like, yeah, really, I don't know, leafy. I don't know how else to describe it, but yeah. They're used a lot in salads because they're really pretty, and then they add a little bite.
Okay.
So it's not just plain. Yeah.
I found a recipe online that I just emailed to you.
Okay.
It's a veal loin with nasturtiums. And it looks pretty good.
That sounds good. I've never had veal, but I imagine it's lovely.
Yeah, veal's good. I don't really condone the way it's made, like how you get it, but
yeah.
But that's a whole nother thing. But like veal itself is good. The one thing I don't like about the recipe is I despise capers. Like with a passion, I hate capers. That might be because at a wedding I was at when I was younger, I had this like pasta dish that had capers on it, and like younger me had like a basic child had very limited taste palette. Like I did like a lot of things, but the capers just did not agree with me, and I haven't tried them since. So I might have to try capers again, because I also didn't like pineapple or grapefruit when I was younger, but now I love them both. So
I did see online though that you can use nasturtium seed pods as a replacement for capers.
Oh.
So we could do that since it's already got nasturtiums in it.
You could.
But I ate some nasturtium today, and I have a tickle like in my mouth.
Okay.
Like right here.
Yeah.
Like in the back of my mouth.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm allergic or it's the greenhouse that I bought the plant from could use some bad stuff in their soil or pesticides on the plant.
Yeah.
So you think I could die
from... did you just eat it right off the plant?
I washed it.
Okay.
But if there's stuff in the soil that the plant's been sucking up, you think, am I going to die?
Okay, that's very representative of what's going on right now. I'm looking up, can you die from nasturtiums? And I hadn't typed in nasturtiums yet, and the top thing is tear gas.
Oh, yeah, so, okay. This is June 7th, by the way. If anybody's
just
late.
Kind of dating it. This is June 7th, so a lot of things are changing. But yeah, I don't see anything.
Well, it wouldn't be from the nasturtium itself. It'd be from what's in the nasturtium.
You should be fine. But also I'm the kind of person that'll eat anything, like pine needle tea. Love that.
Oh.
Pine needles, like if you get because you got to get the fresh ones that aren't like real bitter. Because as a child, I ate pine needles because I like climbing trees. I love climbing trees. Like we had this huge pine tree in my backyard that I eventually had to trim the branches up because the branches are getting too long. And it just looked better trimmed up. But I would always climb it, and as a explorative young child, when it comes to eating things, I would eat pine needles. And then I was because I used to have all these survival books as a kid because I'm really into camping and the outdoors. So they had all these recipes for nature stuff, and one of them was pine needle tea. So what you do is you find the buds that are not the buds, but there's the baby pine needles that are the softer ones. and you pluck those off and you boil them, and then they can make a tea, and it's pretty good. So yeah, and there's also sumac tea.
Interesting.
That's good. Sumac just in general is good. In the words of Brad Leone of the Bon Appetit Test Kitchen, you always need sumac in your dishes.
Oh, okay.
That's a joke because in one of their series, like Making Perfect, they did Making the Perfect Thanksgiving Meal. And Brad and one of the other chefs, Andy, I love both of them, were figuring out the cranberry sauce. And they didn't want to just do because everybody loves the canned cranberry sauce. I don't know why, but the canned stuff's good. So they wanted to replicate that. And Brad's like, oh, we should put sumac in it. Sumac's great. Because Brad, much like myself, is kind of that chaotic element when it comes to cooking and trying all these different things. His big show is fermenting things. So making kimchi, making salmon jerky, which looked very delicious. And then one of the other ones I want to try is dehydrating eggs, like egg yolks.
Okay.
Because they do that in Italy. They dehydrate and salt egg yolks. So what you do is you get a big mound of salt and you crack the egg yolk in the salt and leave it and cover it and leave it for a bit. And then you pull it out and dehydrate it more. And when it gets to the point where you're done, it's a topping for pasta. It's you grate it over the pasta and you got egg yolk pasta now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's once we're back on campus, we should be cooking together a lot.
Yeah.
Let's start a new show.
I'm down.
Cooking according to Richard and Sam.
Cooking with Richard and Sam.
Let's do
salted egg yolks. Salt cured egg yolks.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm adventurous too, but I wouldn't eat pine needles.
Oh, I could.
I mean, now that I know they're edible, probably.
See, that was probably the dumb part of me is I knew what was edible and what wasn't just because I had all those books. So being in the Boy Scouts for as long as I was, there was that. So I'm I got my first merit badge I got was my survival badge, which was really easy. You had to go at the camp we were at. You had to go there for a couple days and learn about all this stuff, and then you had to sleep not in a tent for a night, a thermal blanket or whatever. So I did that, and it was real easy. And then I had all these books. I'm oh, pine needles, I'll do edible, but you got to get the young ones. I already knew that because the old ones were really bitter because I was a dumb kid. Sorry, I was a dumb kid. But yeah. So if you want to find out if the plant tastes good, just ask me because I will probably know. I was that kid.
I mean, yeah, once I find out things are edible, I definitely try them because I didn't know nasturtium was edible until after I got it. And the main reason I got it was I read that the bugs that eat cucumber plants will prefer to eat the nasturtiums.
Oh.
So that's why I got the nasturtium. So my cucumber plants were better off.
Now you can eat nasturtiums.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reason I ate nasturtiums today was because I harvested my garden, went through. I got some broccoli rabe today. I'm going to try sauteing that up, I guess.
Okay.
I got some more spinach. I already got one harvest of spinach out of it, but I got some more today. And I got some lettuce.
Okay.
Lettuce is a little older, so it's a little more bitter. So I think I'll make a salad tomorrow at some point.
Okay.
For food.
Yeah.
Hit me what you got.
So what I've been doing over quarantine, I've been cooking, playing a lot of Xbox. That's about it. Cooking, playing Xbox, and then I've been out in my backyard just kind of practicing what sports skills I can to stay somewhat in shape and not just sit on my couch and eat and watch TV all day, even though it's been amazing. So I've been practicing soccer. I've been getting some of that down for indoor intramurals if we have it this year. I hope we do. But there's that. I've been practicing my golf short game, not putting because my backyard is very bumpy, but I've been getting some chipping practice in, which has always been a difficulter part of my game because it takes a lot more chipping is always a hard part for new golfers. So I've been practicing that. It's gotten better. Like the one time I went out by myself on a Saturday because Wisconsin, the golf clubs opened up early. For anyone who's not in the state or from the state that's listening to this. So I went out by myself on like a Saturday afternoon, socially distanced. Like there was no one on either side of me. I had a mirror behind me. So I was just on the course by myself and it was great. Great old time, just kind of hanging out, listening. I had my headphones in because I usually do that when I'm by myself.
Nice.
But yeah, been cooking. Like we went up to my cabin for Memorial Day weekend, which was like the weekend before I had to move back to campus for my job. So there's been that. I cooked both meals that I'm good at up there because I didn't feel like trying something new on a cabin stove.
Yeah.
So I made Brunswick stew and chicken parm, both 2 nights in a row, which is rare because usually when we're up at the cabin, everybody who's there takes a meal because like it was me, my uncle, and a family friend who like my dad, my uncle, my family, my uncle, and my family friend who owns the cabin with my dad, my uncle. So we did that and like the family friend was the odd guy out because I'm like, oh, I'll cook 2 meals for everybody. Why not? I think I left my apron up there though, which kind of sucks, but
oof,
we'll find out. I think I did, but yeah, so I've been doing that. That's about all I've been doing in practicing over quarantine. I've been trying to work on my Overwatch skills, which haven't really improved much because I'm just bad. But
I know this isn't the cooking episode, but how do you plate your chicken parm?
Okay.
I guess prepare it.
I don't know. So I put pasta down like in like a nice little spiral. I put the chicken on top.
Okay.
Because what I did this time when it worked really well was I fried it till it was golden brown and then finished cooking it in the oven instead of just frying it all the way through because that burns the breadcrumbs. I did
that the other day and I burnt the bleep out of my chicken.
So I plated it. I put the pasta down in a nice little spiral. I put the chicken on top. I put sauce over that. And then I usually get freshly shaved or shaved, not freshly shaved, but shaved Parmesan. So it gets in the thin strips.
Okay.
And then I do that. Yeah. And then I put that on top because there's already parm in the breadcrumbs because like you got to have that. So that's what I do with plating my chicken parm.
There you go. Yeah, that sounds good. I tried to make chicken parm the other day, 2 days ago, Friday.
Okay.
And I tried pan frying it the whole time because, I have another recipe where it's baked all the way through.
Okay.
And I've had trouble with the breading sticking to the pan.
Put pasta sauce down. Like put a thin layer of pasta sauce on the pan and then put the chicken on it. That's what my dad and I did. And it worked really well.
My eggplant parm recipe does that. Yeah. It's kind of like compare it to a lasagna where it's layers.
Mm-hmm. But I learned that you got to always have liquid down your baking things. I learned that the hard way with my turkey that I cooked. That's one thing I did over quarantine, actually. I dry brined it because we got like a whole turkey because we just wanted to have a whole turkey. Why not? And I've always kind of wanted to take over cooking the Thanksgiving turkey because it can be improved upon. So I dry brined it and then I baked it. So I dry brined it. What you do with that is you get like a salt and spice mixture and you rub it underneath the skin and on top of the skin and you let it sit overnight. And then you let it sit overnight uncovered in your fridge, which I know kind of turns some people off because, it's raw poultry in your fridge and it's not covered. But you want that because that lets the moisture out of the turkey or the chicken. So it condenses the flavor of the meat. And not so much the moisture, consolidates it because it was a lot moister. And then what I did after that is I took some of the extra spice mixture before we put the salt in it. And I softened some butter and put the spices in there, mixed that up, and then rubbed it on the skin just so we got a golden skin. And it was amazing.
Wow.
Probably one of the best things I've ever cooked. But when I baked it, I forgot to put, because it asks for like when you put a bunch of vegetables under something while it's baking.
Is it just called putting vegetables under something while it's baking?
No, there's like a French name for it.
I definitely don't know.
This is gonna.
You're questioning everything
A
right now.
mirepoix. That's what it is. A mirepoix. Because it's like onion, celery, carrots are like the big three. And like you put that on the bed and like that has the moisture on it. But like the pan that we're using and the rack I had it on didn't allow us to do that. So what I did is forgot to put water underneath. And so, yeah, that happened. And then I figured it out because our house was like full of smoke. But yeah. Welcome back. Just kind of another bump that we have during these social distancing times, because obviously Richard and I are not related. So we're not living in the same, we're not related, we're not roommates. So we're not living in the same place. So like our first episode that we recorded, we all did on one device. And now since we're doing it at home, like the thing that I'm using, like how the site works for me is I only have half an hour to record. So that's why it kind of, each session is like a half an hour clip or something along that line. So as soon as everything gets better, it'll be a lot easier to see because we'll be recording in person again. So I'll be on one device. We're both going to be on one device. But other than that, please bear with us while we're doing this. So you were going to talk about what we were talking about before with my turkey. So if you want to continue that.
No, I was just going to talk about my experience with baking. I also have the issue with, I don't know if it's like the chicken's just partially frozen, but I've had like moist breading too.
Okay.
It's like it sticks or it's moist breading, so it's like I don't know if it's the chicken's too frozen or something. Yeah. I know that was the issue with I had a really thick chicken breast that I was pan frying the other day for the chicken parm, and it was frozen pretty much throughout, so I had trouble cooking it, and I ended up burning the breading really bad, so I had to like pick it off and just throw it away.
Are they deboned?
Yeah, it's boneless.
Do you have a meat tenderizer?
Yeah, I do.
You might want to try pounding them out.
Didn't use that.
Because that'll thin it out and it'll cook faster. Because what we did is there's like this restaurant supply chain by my house that we go to that has like bulk food. It's got like restaurant grade wares, like kitchen wares and stuff. So we got a bunch of boneless chicken thighs, which was a little weird because they were kind of like rolled out. Because I used chicken thighs one of the other times I did it, they were bone in. So it was nicer with this because you could just cut through it right away. But we kind of flattened them a bit and then we breaded them and then we fried them because it cooked longer, and like the flattening like gets rid of some of the melting or some of the frozen if they're still a little frozen. So you might want to try that next time.
Okay. Yeah. I've done that twice with chicken, tenderizing it. And that was kind of more so because the recipe called for it.
Okay.
Which, my bad, got to put it together a little bit. And then I just want to throw all the way back to golfing. We should go golfing because I just got my dad's clubs because he used to golf, but he like fell off a ladder and hurt his back. So he can't golf anymore. So I have some golf clubs. I got to clean them up a little bit. They're good clubs too.
What kind are they?
I don't remember, but like he was big into golfing and working in business, meeting clients and stuff. I got to clean them up. Probably have to replace a couple. I don't know. I didn't really check them out too much.
I think I have a cleaning kit in my bag. It's either in my bag or it's in here. So.
Oh, okay.
And I'm always down to golf with people. Like I've been trying to get some of the other guys that live in the area that are in the same fraternity as like Mason and Joey and some of those guys to go. Cause like we went last time and it was a lot of fun when it was me, Mason, Savi and Austin. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. And that course is like super nice and it's super cheap. So we went there. I'll probably go there again.
Sweet.
But yeah, I'm always down. I'm always down to golf with people because like I suck at golf. I'm just doing it for fun. So I'm not gonna I don't really worry about score. So like, yeah, I can keep score if I want, but who cares? At the end of the day, I'm like, I'm not gonna be a tour pro. What's the point?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've never gone golfing, so you won't be the worst person there.
so the biggest thing that I gotta ask you, do you know if those irons are they flat on the back? Is there like a cavity to them? Do you know anything about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't, like I said, I mean, I didn't really look at them hard. I more so just like picked them up.
Do you have them by you?
No.
Okay. Because I mean, I'm curious now.
Okay.
I'm curious to see what like kind of clubs they are, who made them. Because like with the irons, there's two different types. There's cavity back and blades.
Okay.
Blades are what a lot of tour pros use. They're good if you know how to use them, but they're a lot more prone to slicing the ball because the cavity backs are kind of thicker on the bottom, so they're easier to swing for new users, and they're not as like they're heavier, so they don't like rotate as much in your swing, or like then the face doesn't close or open more. So you might want to look at that, and like obviously, like if they're all you have, that's great because they're golf clubs, and like if you're using blades, you learn how to use your clubs. So
right,
but yeah, so you might want to. We'll probably have to look at your swing too, because like my swing's okay, but like having a golf swing is very different than what most people think it is.
Okay.
And like one of my friends from home is really big into golf. Surprisingly, all three of friends that I have that were like super huge into golf before I got my clubs were all named Jack, which is weird. But so my friend Jack from home, who like I hang out with all the time, he took me golfing like my first time, and like he was coaching me, so like I learned a lot from him. So there was that. But yeah, I know what to look for in your swing, but I just haven't looked at it on my own swing.
Okay.
Because like I haven't like recorded myself or whatever. So I can help you a bit. Like it won't be the best advice, but
all right. Well, I will tell you. I did go to elementary school and we learned about golf. So
I learned about knitting.
Oh, geez.
Middle school.
I did not.
Yeah, it was weird. Like in fourth grade, like we just had like a knitting for like a couple months as something that we did, like knitting and crocheting. It was something.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Huh. No idea why to this day, but
okay.
Yeah.
But I will do with golfing the same thing I've done with gardening, magic, and every other skill that I know. And that is, and I'll quote my grandma for this too. You know what's really neat? If you want to learn how to do something, you just go on the internet and YouTube it.
Yeah, I was actually going to look up some golf YouTubers that I follow.
Okay.
That are.
I've like.
There's one.
I've been a fiend for gardening YouTubers or watching them.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like nonstop. Whenever I do anything, I usually, rather than turning on all my subscriptions, I just look at gardening stuff, which is kind of funny.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually this week I'm supposed to get seeds.
Oh.
Because I just ordered some more seeds for when my spinach is gonna die probably, and my kale's probably gonna die in the summer. So I got, and I don't know if I'll be able to plant everything, but it's just kind of also to try some new stuff.
Okay.
I got tatsoi mustard because I wanted to try mustard greens. Lemon Queen sunflowers because they were pretty, and I can get sunflower seeds from them once they go to seed. And I think they're smaller than like giant mammoth sunflowers.
Yeah.
I got jewel mix nasturtiums, which will have like a couple different colors because mine are just orange.
Okay.
And then we can find out if I'm actually allergic to nasturtiums or it's the stuff inside the soil.
Yeah.
And then I got kohlrabi to try that because I've never had that in my life. I don't know if you have.
Yeah, it's good. I've had it like once, but it was really good. I really liked it.
Okay. And then I got licorice basil and lemon basil. Try those out.
Okay.
The basil I planted didn't really grow, so that sucks. But probably had something to do with not planting them right and then getting the right germination.
Yeah. Other than that, I've been working.
How's working?
Oh, it's been fun. So for those of you that don't know, my job I have on campus is I am the student coordinator for the first year experience on campus. So I help plan orientation stuff. So nothing this summer will be in person, obviously, because we would have started that already. But I've been planning stuff for that. So like we have Zoom calls Monday through Friday this week with all the new students. So they meet all their groups. Like we have the whole introduction thing. And then we have stuff planned throughout the summer, like something new each week, just to kind of keep them involved and not have it just like 2 days where they're just in Zoom calls all day or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like that's what we usually do. It's like they're in meetings all day. So that's been fun. That's all I've been focusing on right now. Just kind of figuring out what we're using for that and who's going to be doing what. Because obviously, since it's all week, we're not going to have, because we usually just have a small group of mentors, like 10 or 12 of them that are here for the summer orientation, when it's just those 12 they have 4 groups during orientation. But we obviously, that would be so much stress for them to deal with 4 different groups of first year students over an entire summer. So we just sent out stuff for all of the other mentors, like, hey, are you available during this? And if not, we'll pull people up. So I've been working on that, trying to figure out who's going to be with what. I just got the list for students to put them in groups like Wednesday, and it wasn't finished yet. So like the last like two, 3 sessions, like each group had like 5 people in it. So I've been working on that. That's all I'm going to be doing tomorrow, is finishing that up pretty much.
Okay.
And rearranging some people, because like some things came up in the mentor schedule. They can't do the session that they got assigned. So we had to move that around. But yeah, so that's been work.
Okay. I was unfortunate to get work, but that made sense, right?
Sure. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, my department doesn't need students working, so I didn't get to work from home. And I had a potential internship, but they canceled their internship just because of coronavirus going on.
Yeah.
Because everybody was working from home, and they were like, we want to provide you with an experience that's worth it. So we're not going to have any students. But good news, though, I have a phone interview tomorrow.
Ooh.
For an associate accounting position. So like a career post-graduation.
Oh. Well, damn.
Yeah.
That makes one of us, because I haven't even started looking at schools yet.
Well, the way accounting works, I'm kind of doing it out of order here, but you apply to the big 4 accounting firms during the summer, and then like September, you start applying locally to like public accounting firms. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing it a little early, but the posting was the job was posted like for 2021. It says like start date's June 2021.
Oh.
And they posted it like over 30 days ago or whatever.
Okay.
So I was like, it's been posted a while. Why not just apply now? So they got back to me really quick too. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
But they are a big nationwide firm. I think they're still in like the top 10.
What's their name?
CLA, Clifton Larson Allen.
Okay.
They bought Shank and then just kind of merged them. So that's why it's in. So if you know where those locations are, that's where I'm looking at. But yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
If I can secure a job post graduation and just like have fun senior year.
Yeah. No, I
mean, obviously I'll have to pass all my accounting classes and get my diploma, but
yeah.
No, I don't have to worry about finding a job.
I have no what I'm
doing.
And
actually, I would hope that they could bring me on for tax season.
That'd be nice.
And like start training me then. So like I would even start in January.
That'd be nice.
Just so I'm familiar with it. All right, that's been Life According to Richard and Sam. I'm good if you're good, Sam.
I'm good if you're good, Richard.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. It's been fun talking.
It has been. This has been a fun episode.
Yeah.
Follow Official Dolphin Studios on Instagram. Dolphin Studios on Facebook.
At Nehmey, Nehmey on Instagram if you want to follow me.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Peace.